Okay, let's go. Right, hi. I'm very excited to be joined by Brandon Jeffs today, and we're talking recruiter enablement, as always. Brandon's got a very exciting background, so I'll let him do a quick introduction, and then we'll dive right into it. Brandon, welcome.
Awesome. Thanks, Adam. Quick download. I'm Brandon. I'm a recruiting enthusiast. I've supported publicly traded private equity and some venture-backed companies. Really excited to talk recruiter enablement. It's a deep passion of mine.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so what is it? What does it mean to you? Like, what is the subject all about?
To me, recruiter enablement is all about driving value to business leaders. And over the last few years, that has taken shape in different directions. And value of recruiting can look differently to different applications of business. So one leader may see enablement from recruiting look a certain way versus a different business play. So it's all about catering our approach as talent leaders to the right business and having strategies and approaches that are going to help drive value.
Great. I agree with all of that. Can you give us some examples of some of the tangible things that you've done? And then what we'll do is we'll come on to some of the things that you're thinking about now and you're really looking at around generative AI and that type of thing. But so far, what are the things that you've done over the last few years?
And not too dissimilar to other folks that may have similar experience to my own, being displaced through macroeconomic volatility post-pandemic. Recruiter enablement looks different in, say, the Series B to C fintech unicorn that I helped scale versus a Series A startup where they've only got 15 folks. And at high capacity, recruiter enablement for full cycle recruiters looks differently when you have 30 recs versus when you have 3. Yeah. I've been able to see it in both dynamics, and it's exciting to see the technology tools that have come onto the market that can support both use cases.
Yeah. Okay. Talk to me about some of the things you've been looking at recently around generative AI and how that might support recruiter enablement.
Great question. Obviously, there's a lot of AI going on right now. Every company is tacking that on to their product roadmap. To me, it's all about being curious and exploring firsthand, both in Bard and ChatGPT for generative AI. It's empowered me to be more efficient and strategic in my communications internally. It's great at distilling different thoughts into structured communication. Where I haven't seen it play out is in really personalized automation at scale for serious outbound motions. There are certain CRM tools that have tacked Gen AI into their product, but having sandboxed a few, I haven't seen anything that's going to beat true recruiter efficacy for personalization.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And I think that maybe a few months ago, I was looking at lots and lots of LinkedIn posts about here's a great use case for generative AI, and here's another one and another one. I was looking at it and going, it makes text. Some of those things that people were talking about is that's not what it's for. And in fact, you've gone down a rabbit hole here. And what you're talking about, there's actually 5 other much better ways of doing it than that. You wouldn't use ChatGPT to do that. You would use other established things which are designed for it. But ChatGPT and Bard can be used for absolutely for things like job descriptions, outreach messaging, things like objection handling. There's a lot of different use cases for this. So I'm not surprised that you are excited about what's happening. Could you just talk to me about what are some of the tasks that we're trying to kind of eliminate or reduce using recruiter enablement methods?
When I think about reducing tasks for recruiter enablement, the first thing that comes to mind is recruiter engagement. What we're seeing right now is Gen Z has reported that like corporate recruiter is one of their top career choices. I think CNBC reported that Q2 of 2022 before Techageddon. That actually raises a flag for me, because if there are less entry points through market correction as well as generative AI, there isn't that base foundation for building the skill set of a career. Much of HR and people operations experience, for lack of a better word, comes through tribal knowledge. If we don't have those entry points for individuals who are hungry to deploy their skills in this application from a business perspective, we're at this precipice of really understanding how do we grow as a field and pass down to that next generation how they can grow and support hiring. Because despite our little tiny conversation around productivity and performance and tools for recruiters, there's a huge ecosystem of hiring as a whole. And there are so many companies that are not yet here at this discovery point around generative AI. So for me, recruiter enablement is the touchstone for being more efficient. So how do we engage teams? How do we continue to have learning and development, activation of career pathing and upskilling within the lens of people operations initiatives in the context of the business application?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, great. You're talking my language. I love this. I think that we should reconvene and talk about some of these themes in a little bit more details, but let's see what other people think about the topics that you brought up here. Brandon, many thanks for taking the time to join me today, and I know people are going to be interested in what you've been talking about.
Thanks so much, Adam. Looking forward to connecting again.